Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original 1937 Disney classic, was the first full-length animated feature film in history. Even if Disney today were at the pinnacle of filmmaking, armed with the best writers, free from any woke BS, creating a successful remake of this iconic movie would still be an extraordinary challenge. However, Disney's recent trend of reimagining cherished stories and characters to align with contemporary values through diverse casting, modernised roles, and addressing outdated stereotypes has demonstrated one thing: modern Disney excels at ruining films. Case in point, the new Snow White movie. To be clear, I haven't watched this movie, and I have no intention of doing so. The only scenario in which I'd watch it is if my children asked to, but they've shown no interest whatsoever. Naturally, Disney replaced the Caucasian Snow White character with a Latina version. Why? Well, to be woke, of course. Apparently, white people have benefited too much from the Snow White franchise. Imagine if I made a new movie about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. and cast, say, Australian actor Chris Hemsworth in the role. I can just picture the headlines. Best portrayal yet. Chris Hemsworth shines in new Luther King biopic. I'm joking, of course. That would obviously be absurd. Yet here we are, with Disney doing whatever the hell they want with classic characters such as The Little Mermaid and Snow White. It's equally absurd, but that's what wokeness has become, hasn't it? There was also the controversy surrounding the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs. In 2022, actor Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones fame criticised Disney for perpetuating outdated stereotypes about dwarves. He remarked, "I was a little taken aback by the fact they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that effing backwards story about seven dwarves living in a cave together. What the F are you doing, man?" Although not everyone agreed with Mr. Dinklage, Dylan Postal, an actor and professional wrestler with dwarfism, believed that Dinklage's comments were counterproductive because they implied that dwarf parts were old-fashioned and should be removed. He said, "There are 7 roles for dwarves that can't get normal acting roles, or very few and far between roles, and now they are gone because of this guy. Peter Dinklage is the biggest dwarf actor probably of all time, but it doesn't make him King Dwarf. When he was cast as a little person role in Game of Thrones, or an elf, or this, that, or the other thing, those checks cashed just fine. He had no issue then, but now he wants to be progressive? Come on, man. Dinklage is not the spokesman for little people, and to believe that one person represents an entire community is ridiculous." I like this guy. In response, in 2023, Disney replaced the Seven Dwarfs with 7 magical creatures instead, with Fox News reporting at the time, "New live-action Snow White dumps 7 dwarves for 7 multiracial, mixed-gender magical creatures." It's funny, but completely expected. In the end, Disney copped so much backlash from all sides that they decided to ditch the actors and replace them with CGI. But even this has caused controversy, with Sky News UK reporting, "Snow White little people feel erased by Disney's use of CGI instead of real actors. Disney just can't seem to win in this woke world." In the end, none of that really matters. What truly counts is whether the story resonates with audiences in the cinema. In the original, Snow White is portrayed as a gentle and passive character, dreaming of her Prince Charming, focused on domestic tasks, embodying traditional ideals of femininity. But in the remake, she is portrayed as an independent and ambitious figure, focusing on becoming a fair and just leader rather than waiting for a prince. A new Robin Hood-like bandit character named Jonathan is introduced, who encourages Snow White to stand up against oppression. Many of the original songs have been replaced that didn't align with modern values, at least according to Disney, such as the misogynist "Someday My Prince Will Come." The scene where the dwarves place Snow White in a glass coffin to preserve her beauty and to protect her has been replaced. But did all this pay off? Well, here are some recent reviews. On Google, the movie mostly got 1-star reviews, averaging 1.4, I guess mainly due to the woke backlash. On the Internet Movie Database, it scored 1.9 out of 10. Of course, many will accuse these reviewers of not having actually watched the movie, and sure, there would be an element of that, but then you'd have to suspend disbelief and ignore left-leaning reviews such as The Guardian's. Snow White review. Disney's exhaustingly awful reboot axes the prince and makes the dwarves mocap, motion capture, with tiresome pseudo-progressive additions that tie the whole thing in knots. This is a waste of estimable entertainers. 1 star. The Guardian despised this movie so much, they published a second review. Snow White review. Toe-curlingly terrible live-action remake. Audiences watching Disney's sappy, dire-looking effort starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot will wish only to be put out of their misery. Ooh, harsh. Rolling Stone, also left-leaning. Snow White is like being stuck in the most controversial Disney adult nightmare ever. You can feel the strain of trying to appeal to everyone, to be as inoffensive as possible, and still manage to satisfy next to no one. The movie does earn points as a bedtime story, however, because it will definitely put you to sleep. Okay, it's received a lot of bad reviews, but ultimately, what truly matters are the box office earnings. Forbes, yes, Snow White is bombing at the box office. $43 million may sound like a lot for an opening weekend, but compared to other recent live-action Disney adaptations, it's pretty dismal. Unfortunately, in their latest film, Disney prioritizes forced inclusion, political correctness, and infantilizing its audiences with sanctimonious life lessons, instead of focusing their efforts on what really counts in the movie industry: creative and compelling storytelling. In an overzealous attempt to avoid offending anyone, Disney has ironically ended up entertaining no one.